Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Legacy BookBar Sip and Chat, our summer series. I feel like it has been forever since I have seen you guys. I know you're like, where's the book lady? Because I'll be out in these streets here in these COVID streets all masked up and I wear my t-shirts and people be like, you the book lady at the mall. That would be me. Yes, the book lady at the mall. And I have missed all of you. I have some amazing news and updates for you guys that we are going to talk about later this evening. So make sure that you guys are stay tuned to hear everything that we are going to talk about tonight. So if you have been following Legacy Book Bar, then you know me, Manina, as the owner of Legacy Book Bar. And you know all through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, I feature a Be Bold, Be Heard campaign. Now, this campaign is for Black authors in whatever genre they choose to write in. I use this campaign because I want to hear about you. I want to hear your story. I want to see your books. I want to read your books. And I feel like this campaign is a great way for authors alike and readers like me to come across new authors. You know, right now with COVID still lingering, smaller independent bookstores kind of declined through thanks to Amazon and e-readers. So we kind of missed out on book signings and book clubs. So slowly but surely the rise of independent bookstores are coming back. And right now, because of COVID, we have to do things a tad bit differently. So we're doing it virtually. So my first guest of my summer series is Miss Author Shirlena S. Barnett. So welcome to the Sip and Chat.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So hopefully I know everyone has had to do things quite differently over this last year and a half due to COVID. How have you been maintaining?
Ooh, it's been kind of rough trying to, stay in the house, and I have been kind of breaking the rules and going out because I still work. I have to go to work, and I haven't been able to promote my book like I would like and go to different events because of COVID. But I have been able to do it like virtual. So that's a good thing also. But I'm planning to do my first outing like this summer in July.
Wow. Okay. So make sure that you let Legacy Book Bar know where you're going to be so we can share that information and let people know that you will be in a particular city and state. And if they want to purchase your book based off of this interview tonight, they know where to go get that. So make sure you let us know. And we'll put that in the comment section this evening. So it's been you were part of the Be Bold, Be Heard campaign, and your book, Mustard Seed, was very catchy to me. I was like, first off, Black girl with a horse is not something that you see every day. And then, of course, the movie on Netflix that came out, Concrete Cowboy, I was like, wait a minute. That is sparking a whole different feel. Like people don't realize that, they were Black cowboys, they were Black cowgirls. It's a whole entity and people don't realize it. So when I saw your book, I said, I absolutely have to have her on an episode because we have to talk about this cover and we have to talk about this book. So I am so glad to have you on here tonight. So like I told all my authors, we're going to discuss your who, what, and why of your writing journey. So I want you, before we get into your book, I want you to tell us a little bit about your journey into writing your book called Mustard Seed.
Well, I had went through a battle. I was diagnosed with kidney failure out of nowhere, maybe a couple weeks before my wedding. My kidneys collapsed. And so to deal with depression and anxiety, my cousin Rika had brought me a journal, and she was like, "Won't you just write? It'll really help you with your depression." And so everything I went through, everything I was feeling, I couldn't express it because I felt like did nobody understand at all. So I just started keeping a journal, and I kept that journal for over 10 years. And so I formed it into a book. So it's just like a book of testimonies.
So when you said this happened like a couple of weeks before you got married, what year was this?
2013.
So
Yes.
I know that now I myself got married in 2012, and I know the craziness of trying to put together a wedding and honeymoon and knowing, all right, I'm about to be one with this person, and now you have a huge life-changing
Yes.
event, medical crisis happening at the same time.
Yes.
That's tough. I can't imagine. But you're here. You got through it.
Yes.
Um, talk a little bit about that. Let people know, because a lot of people have different medical crisis issues, regardless of getting married or not. How did you deal with that?
I feel like I had to be strong for the people around me. It was very difficult. I hide my feelings a lot, so I expressed it like a lot on paper. It was very challenging to me in all areas. But while I was in the hospital, I formed my own nonprofit organization because at the time I felt like I was the only person that was going through it at my age. So it kind of gave me therapy, like forming an organization and reaching out to different people and helping other people and telling my story. So that helped out a lot with the journal. And I began to have like a closer walk with God. I really got to know him during this experience because he kept showing up and showing out in my life. My pastor stood by me, my parents, my family, my husband. I had an awesome support team. I really did. And I just pushed through it to the point where a lot of people didn't believe I was sick because I didn't look sick. I didn't stop traveling. I didn't stop doing whatever I wanted to do. I used to get in trouble a lot by my doctors and my husband and parents because I kept doing everything I wanted to do. I didn't let dialysis stop me at all or being sick. I've been in the hospital one day and I get out the same day or the next day, and you might see me at the mall or a game or at the airport. So I never did let nothing stop me. I was determined to beat this battle.
Wow. Okay. So having interviewed several people for the authors for the Sip and Chat, a lot of them started the same way, where they started journaling, and then journaling put all their thoughts to paper, and now they have created this masterpiece of a book. It is most of the authors actually have always said that it was very therapeutic for them. Did you find that to be the case for you?
Oh yes. Now when I go back and read my book, it get emotional to me because I just can't believe that I actually was able to handle all that.
So we have a couple of comments. We have my mom, who is here every Friday night with us, and actually a testament to what you just said. She said, "Hello, lady." So hello, mom. And then she said, "Support is very important."
Oh yes, it's very
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so thankful that you were able to have a very good support system through those times. I can't imagine anybody going through that type of medical crisis and having to do it on their own.
yeah.
But I'm glad that, like I said, you were able to have someone to help you. So this was 10 years ago. When did you decide, okay, I'm going to take this whole 10 years worth of journaling and I'm going to turn it into this whole mustard seed and turn it into a book?
Ooh, maybe like it was the fifth year in. I was ready to put it out. I even had thought about like making a part two.
Mm-hmm.
I was even getting pressured by like friends and family, like go ahead and put the book out. But it was just I wasn't ready. I was ready for the ending part to come. I didn't want to do a part two. So right after transplant, maybe a month after I got home, um, my business coach, which is a relative of mine, she linked me up with the publisher, Miss Leslie Crawford from Baltimore, actually. And
Hey, Miss Leslie Crawford from Baltimore. Hey, girl.
it's
Hey.
amazing. Like I would have never got through this. Now she made it so easy for me, and so understanding, and the process was like amazing. She's an amazing person. She really is. And she has pushed me a lot, which I need that sometimes. She's an amazing person. I would have never made it this far without her.
Oh, that is good. Miss Leslie Crawford, we're going to have a chit chat or two or three, because I'm loving Miss Shirlena Barnett, and you sent her my way. So thank you. Miss Leslie Crawford is the one that saw the Be Bold, Be Heard campaign and sent Shirlena my way. So
Yeah, shout out
kudos to her.
book publishing.
Thank you. Yes. And we are going to have to find and get some more authors from her publishing company, because that's
Yeah.
what we like. Yes. So let's talk about this book, because that's really why I want to talk to you. So let's talk about the cover first.
Okay.
Is this your, like, you ride horses? Like,
I'm
this is
not scared of horses at all. I'm not scared of animals at all. But during this journey, I became obsessed with animals. Like I had got on a camel one day, and like my husband and parents were looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you doing? I just became obsessed with animals. And I have a relative that stays across the street from my grandmother, Uncle Larry, and he have horses. And when I came with the idea, of course, everybody laughed at me because I had like the most outrageous. I always think outside the box, and I want it to be different. I didn't want to like a regular book cover, and I felt like a horse represent a warrior. So I actually did like two photo shoots with horses. And so it was just like this one called like just really stood out to me, this picture, because this is my jacket, like my signature jacket in color. I love camo. And so that's how we went about it. But it was also like a family shoot. I had my grandmother out there, my aunt, my parents, my relatives, everybody was out there. So I did a big group photo shoot also. But this one stood out the most.
so give us what's the definition of mustard seed? Tell us what that's about.
Mustard seed in the Bible speaks of faith. Only thing you need is like the size of a mustard seed of faith. And so that what it my book is all about, faith. I don't have doctors to give me like the worst news ever. Like I was told I would never walk again. I ended up walking in 3 months. They told me if I didn't receive a kidney within a year, I wouldn't survive because that was that far gone. But I was still urinating and still going on. I have got the worst news ever, but it comes out, it never goes that way. So it built my faith in God, and I learned how to trust Him more. So that's what all my book is about, testimonies and faith.
So I know you've done one of the pictures that you sent me looked like it was you at a book signing.
Yeah.
Tell us what's the responses you received from different people that have purchased your book? What did they say?
It's overwhelming, like, especially for people I do not know. I don't have people from Philly, and I had a couple of people from Texas to reach out, and I have had this lady that I still conversate with, and we planning to meet up soon. That she said my book saved her life. She was going through this deep depression, and by reading my book, she was like she would have never, survived that. She would have just gave up. And looking at my situation, which was worse than her, she was saying, and I got through just faith. It encouraged her to do the same. So I have got a lot of positive feedback. Of course, in everything you do, especially when you elevate in life, of course you're gonna get negative feedback. So everybody's not gonna agree with everything you're doing, but the good feedback outweighs the bad.
Um, it's unfortunate to ever receive, when you feel like you're doing something positive, to ever receive negative feedback, but I always look at it, negative feedback makes you grind harder because you
Oh yeah,
have to prove them wrong. And I do it every day. They was like, who opens up a bookstore? Why would you like, who does that? So we have Amazon. Okay, well, have Amazon, but I'm still going to have my bookstore
yeah,
over here, and people now have options.
yes.
And I still get it after a year and a half in. I still get it, but I still have followers. I'm still at this point. I feel like in my little city, if I can walk out and I can still be considered the book lady, I feel like I am doing my job.
What they call
And
me, kidney girl.
huh,
They call me the kidney girl.
the kidney girl,
Yeah,
exactly.
people don't know my name. They be like, "You the kidney girl," and I used to get upset about it because I'd be like, "I have a name," but now it works. So
They know that story. Okay, okay. So a few minutes ago, you mentioned your signature line, and you actually brought that up on your form. Tell us about the signature line.
well, I got so much going on now. I'm also working on like the children book with my baby, Skylar Grace. It's my goddaughter. And then I'm also working on this jacket line. And so it's just so much going on at one time. And like you just said in your the comments you made about the negative comments, it like set fire to me. And it just gave me like this boost to not stop. It's just like, I can't stop here. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. And I got my hands in a lot of different things right now. And plus still promoting mustard seed. So yeah, everything's great. I'm excited about my signature line coming out. Um, I can't wait. I don't know. I get anxiety thinking about it. And I'm just ready for everybody to see it. And the process of it. I remember when I signed my contract, and Miss Leslie would ask me what did I want, and I was like, I don't mean to sound lazy, but I don't want to go around and sell my book out of a trunk or nothing. I want it to be in every store. That was my on my bucket list. I wanted to be in every store. I wanted you to be able to go and purchase it or get a line in person, and that's exactly how it happened. And same thing with my signature line. I didn't want to order from a warehouse or a book. I really wanted a signature line where I do go look at samples of clothing and fabric and literally have somebody to design it for me. And I just got in another situation, which is a blessing, where I signed another contract where exactly what I prayed for and asked God for, it happened. Like, I'm supposed to be sampling fabric soon for my jacket line. So yes, God
Amazing.
real. That's a mustard seed faith. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, tell us about what some of the testimonies that you have in your book.
Ooh, wanted to. Ooh, it's so many. Well, how I got my kidney to this day is it still shocked me. I was getting frustrated towards the end. I was just getting tired of sitting on the machine for 3 hours and draining me on a different level. And I was just real sick. I had started vomiting blood, and it was just everything was just coming at one time. And I was becoming overwhelmed. So I got frustrated with this Augusta transplant because I felt like they weren't keeping in contact with me. So I literally got off their list. I didn't want no more dealings with them. I called myself mad at them. So I had got on Charlotte, North Carolina list. I had just got accepted in, and I was waiting on a call from them. But one day after dialysis, I get a call. I had just got in town from Tennessee on a cabin trip, and a Gallenberg number called. So I thought it was like a timeshare or something. So I answered the phone, and she's like, "Is this Shirlena?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "I know this sounds crazy, but my name is Leslie, and that's crazy that my publisher name was Leslie too." And she's like, "I'm calling you for a kidney from Augusta," and I was like, "But I'm not on their list." She's like, "I know." She's like, "We keep going back in the system and your name won't leave." She's like, I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna check in some stuff and then to find out what's really going on. So I got frustrated. Like, why would you call me in the first place and get me excited and you need to still check on it? So she told me she'll call back in an hour, but it ended up being like 5 minutes. And she was just like, "Don't pack, come now." And we went to the hospital, the same thing. They did not have my name in the system nowhere. And I started getting like angry, like, I'm not leaving this hospital without somebody's kidney. And so they just excused me, go to the next floor. When I got up there, it was the same thing. The doctors finally said, "Well, your name popped up. we're gonna give you this kidney. And so to say that there was another miracle, plenty of times I have went through when like my name wasn't on the list at all, but my name showed up at the top, and the doctors couldn't figure it out. The lady that called me for the kidney couldn't figure it out, and I literally got the kidney. And then after I got it, it was like, sometimes some people like gradually like their kidney build up, or they have a lazy kidney that haven't woke up, or sometimes they don't accept. Right away, my creatinine, which is your kidney function, it had went down to like one something. And they were just like, everything took perfect. They was like another testimony. It was just amazing to me. It really was.
That is, I cannot wait to read your story because I know it is going to probably hit home. I'm ready with my box of tissues because I know I'm probably going to shed a tear or three
Yeah.
about this. So always ask my authors this because I always um, want authors to be able to express themselves and also give feedback to other authors that might be listening. Hopefully, people that are tuning in or sharing the broadcast. But always ask them, self-publishing versus traditionally publishing. What's your take on it? Which route did you go?
Well, I signed with a publishing company. At that time, by me being new to it, I was afraid I would make a mistake, or, might not make the right move. I was afraid of failing with it. So I didn't want to take that chance. And then I had such high hopes for it, and I really wanted to be in stores. So that's why I went with the publishing company. And the publishing company I'm with is amazing. Like, Miss Leslie Crawford, I can't even explain like how amazing she is. We formed a relationship. She's very patient, and she passionate about what she does. She's all about giving you like 100% of her time, and she goes step by step, and she go out her way to make sure that everything you desire, everything that she promised you, like she go through with it. So yes, she's an amazing person.
That is great. So hopefully people are watching this broadcast and watch some others are getting some really good information about publishing and knowing the difference and what works best for you. I always get questioned like, do you publish? No, that is not my ministry. Don't even want to do it. Like,
Yeah,
not at all. I'll sell your book once you're published.
yeah,
Other than that, no. And then how you publish, it's all in what you want to do as an author. Do you want to self-publish? Do you want a traditional? And then it's multiple versions of self-publishing. Do you want to self-solo? Do you want to work with a publishing company, but it allows you the affordability of being able to self-publish where you still retain your rights.
yeah,
So you in this day and age, you don't it's not, Harper Collins or random publishing house, Macmillan. It's not them or bust. You
mm,
have so many different options. And I always tell authors, research
yeah,
before you do anything. Learn what's the responsibility of the different publishing houses, what they can do for you, and then know yourself, be honest with yourself, and what's going to work best for you, and then make that determination that way. We've had quite a few self-published and quite a few traditionally published authors on here, and some publishers that actually own their own companies, and they've actually also have given us some feedback on how they do different things. So it's always good to hear
mm,
from other people. I
yeah.
like it. It is very informative. It's just the greatest.
And that's the
So
thing about Miss Leslie. Like, when I signed my contract, like in her contract, she gives you 100% of your publishing rights. Like, you own all of it. She don't take no percentage from it or anything.
that's awesome. Definitely have to have Miss Leslie Crawford on so we could talk about publishing because these are things that authors, current authors, aspiring authors need to know. What's the responsibility of the publisher? What's the responsibility of the author? What's the publisher do's and don'ts? What makes them say, I am not even reading this book? Why did this author send this to me?
And I'm
And what
a person, like, she never published a book like this.
and
Yeah.
then what makes them decide, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance on a different type of book.
Yeah.
Those are I need to hear from those types of publishers because it's hey, I'm nosy, and then the people need to hear about it. So why not? So it is amazing.
Yes.
So tell us, are you working on another book?
Yes. I haven't put much time in as I should because I got so much going on at this time. But I'm working on a children's book called Scholar's Dance. That's my goddaughter, Scholar Grace. And she's got so much character. So I want to try a series of books with her. So I've been working on it for a while. I had stopped because I had so much other stuff going on, but I just recently started back writing.
Well, we will be on the lookout for that book series. I always take pride, especially with my with Black authors, especially when it comes to children's books. I feel like in print media, excuse me, just as well as in film media, our brown and Black babies need to see themselves in a positive light. So I always go, the extra step with my children's authors because I know how it was for me growing up. There wasn't a lot of books where representation of me was on the cover. Growing up, there were not a lot of Black Barbie dolls, Black baby dolls. So you kind of just had to get what you got. I must say that my mom did a really good job of making sure I had the Black baby dolls, but they were just like one in a million,
Yeah.
but now we are more prevalent out here. And I want to make sure that our kids are really getting an opportunity to see themselves and be proud of what they can do by seeing it in print as well as visually in film media. So I am super excited. I cannot wait to see
I
this book.
have a cousin. She co-wrote a book. It's a children's book, and it's a series. It's her second one. It's her and her other two cousins. My cousin name is Latrice Sturgill and Chanel Overspeed and Kiva Rucker. They wrote a children's book. And also I have a cousin named Charlene Harper. She also wrote a children's book. So they kind of inspired me at the same time.
Hmm.
But I think they self-published and they did amazing with it.
Okay. We got to get them on here too. Let's
Yeah.
talk about these children's books. We have to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, all of us in this day and age, we all use social media to get their works out. What how can people locate you on social media?
I have a Facebook and I have Instagram and also Snapchat. I'm author Shirlena Sturgeon Barnett on both. And the other one is I Love My Kidneys. That's the name of my organization. So I have that on Facebook and Instagram.
Now, I love my kidneys. Is that the nonprofit that you started?
Yes, it's a nonprofit organization. I
Okay.
had 2013.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I actually formed it while I was in the hospital in the bed. I literally called the lawyer in the hospital and told him exactly what I wanted, how far I wanted to go with it. And when I got out, we literally did the paperwork.
Now, most people are resting
No, I
in
couldn't.
the hospital.
No.
You are starting whole businesses in the hospital bed.
Yes. I just sit still. It makes you think. And I don't like, I can't sit still, period. I always have to have something going on or I take on more than one project at one time.
So what has your organization done or what is it doing currently?
It educates people on kidney awareness about the disease. And it broke my heart when I first started dialysis because I was the youngest one in there. But by being on there, I seen more people come on there, especially African American. It really come from our diet and stuff. So I was trying to educate people on the disease, trying to prevent them from going through what I went through. I will have 2 events a year. I would do like a Valentine charity ball, and I would do a kidney walk, and I would make donations at the end to like go towards medication or whatever you need it for.
That is amazing. And you do all of this is done in Georgia?
Yes, ma'am, in Georgia. I'm planning one in Atlanta soon. I'm still trying to work out the ins and outs about it, but yes, I'm also still doing it in my hometown, Hartwood, Georgia. So yeah, that's really my baby, my organization. It's very personal and dear to me.
Oh, it's not, yeah. You're very passionate about it. So definitely make sure that you send us some information so we can share it for you on our social media. So you can get some more likes and follows and hopefully some more donations to your organization as well as from us. So absolutely. So how you are, I want to say, a queen of all trades with clothing line and the children's book and the mustard seed and the nonprofit.
And a documentary. I haven't shot in about a month, but I'm about to start back filming soon. I started shooting back in 2017. It's called Got Kidney. It's a documentary about I'm interviewing different people that went through the same thing as I did. So everybody's telling their testimony and story about going through kidney disease and how it affected their lives, how it affected their family lives, and talk about the ones that did get a kidney transplant. And I also was shooting with Mr. Tony Jones. He was a NFL Super Bowl champ. So he was the first person I interviewed.
Really?
Yes, yes, yes. Unfortunately, he passed earlier this year. So that was kind of tough on me because he was like my mentor on that situation. He would get on to me a lot about going so much and, being hard headed. He used to call me not head because I was very stubborn. So, when that happened, I was very sad, especially for his kids and his family and his fans. So it kind of pushed me more to go ahead and finish the documentary. So I'm in the process of trying to get that done also.
So mustard seed, children's book series,
Yeah.
clothing line, nonprofit, and an upcoming documentary. When are you going to have time to sleep?
I guess when the Lord called me home. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't want him to call you anytime soon. So make sure you're resting in between all of that you have going on. Hopefully people, like I said, people are watching tonight. They share the broadcast. Had another interviewer. She's a really good friend of mine. She was a cancer survivor from the age of 3. And she had also talked about her testimony. And she is a runway model. And she has walked on some of the biggest stages for New York Fashion Week. And she was on Dr. Oz. And she has a book out. And she is queen of queendoms when it comes to her story and everything that she has gone through. So you two both have just such an amazing story.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you guys were vulnerable enough to be able to tell your story to help the next person that could be in that situation. Or to help someone that is going through that situation and kind of gives them to say, hey, I know it's tough right now, but there are quite a few people that are going through the same thing. But here are some books of positivity to say they went through it and they saw some light at the end of the tunnel, and just kind of like their chicken soup for the soul, but Black girl version. I love it. So it's really, really good. So wait, I had Shirlena, no, we did your Instagram. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I asked this of all of my authors because I want to hear what they have to say. So we've gone through your queens of trades of, again, we're going to list them. Children's book author coming soon. Mustard Seed book that's already out. Nonprofit that is out that she started in her hospital bed in 2013 in the middle of going through kidney transplant surgery, right? Clothing line, documentary series. All of this has been going on while she is going through, life and medical crisis and just everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shirlena, you're going to look and we're going to fast forward the time clock and we're going to go some 40 years and your kids' kids and grandkids and your goddaughter Skylar and her kids. And they're going to sit back and they're going to say, you did all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And right before the Lord calls you home,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want your legacy to be?
To put all their trust in God. To really trust Him. And I want them to see just how God used me as a vessel. Because everything you go through, especially during this time, everybody's going through a battle, especially with COVID. It's so people are going through so much right now, especially mental health. Like I suffered from depression and anxiety. And a lot of times, some people are ashamed, especially African Americans, they're not going to admit, mental health or don't think they have an issue at all. But I had learned during my situation, I said a lot, even in my book, I didn't learn who God was from church. I learned who He was through all of my experiences. So I want my legacy to always be to never give up. I don't care what it looks like or what has been told to you. God has the last say so. And only thing He wants you to do is just have a relationship with Him and trust Him. That's all it takes. So I want my legacy to be, she was one girl that never gave up, and she was one girl that put all her trust in God.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for answering the call for the Be Bold, Be Heard campaign. And again, thank you to Ms. Leslie Crawford for sending you my way. So we have some amazing updates and some upcoming events that Legacy Book Bar is hosting and having this summer and through our summer series of the Sip and Chat. So Shirlene, I want you to stay with me while I go through all of our upcoming events. Okay. So as everyone knows, we have been off air a little bit. I have been working on some big things with Legacy Book Bars. So hopefully you guys stay tuned with me. We are going to go through everything that we have all the way up until October. When I say big things are happening with Legacy Book Bar, that's exactly what I mean. So starting tomorrow, 12 p.m. noon, if you know me as the fan me, of a reader of all readers. I have the pleasure of having Beverly Jenkins at our monthly book club tomorrow. We will be talking about her book, Bring on the Blessings, that us fans in her Facebook group affectionately call Bob. This is book 1 of a 10-book series. She is my absolute favorite author. I have been reading her since I was 15. I will not tell you my age today, but just know that I have been reading her for years, okay? And as being a bookstore owner for a year and a half, to be able to have her as my guest author for the book club, I'm so hoping that I don't have an ultimate fangirl moment and pass out like people do at concerts. But knowing me, I'm definitely going to probably snot cry after the end of the book club. It is amazing. So if you are a fan of Beverly Jenkins and you have read Bring on the Blessings, please feel free to join us at www.legacybookbar.com. Go to the online book club tab and hit join the discussion. This is free. All of our monthly book clubs are always free. More than welcome to purchase the book from our website. have the book ready. And then for our monthly book clubs, we do our best to make sure that we always have the authors on the call. So you get to ask the authors all the burning questions about the book. Why did they do this? Oh my gosh, this was so great. I can't believe you killed this character off. I'm so glad you killed this character off. Like, whatever your burning question is about the book, you have an opportunity to talk about it with the author, as well as myself and other fans of the book. So that is June. And keep in mind that tomorrow is June 26th, and that means we are 4 days away from my birthday. So this is going to be an amazing weekend for me to kick off my birthday. So with July being my birthday month and me being the spoiled person that I am, thanks to my parents and my husband, July had to be equally as big. So for July, we have the pleasure again of having AC author as our guest author for our July book club. And we will be talking about her paranormal romance, Temptation Rising. So in another week or so, you'll be able to purchase that book through my website, www.legacybookbar.com. Have the book ready and then be able to ask her all the burning questions about the book that you feel free to ask. And of course, remember that the book clubs are free. So all you have to do is purchase the book, join the discussion, and then we will talk to Miss AC author. So if you have been paying attention, Beverly Jenkins, AC author, 2 of the top Black female authors in the game, will be in the house for Legacy Book Bar. I've been working hard, guys. It's a lot going on over here, okay? So that's just July and August. No, I'm sorry, June and July. Then August, we have, what is this? Larissa and Sherry. They did a 30-day self-help book. We are going to talk about this with these 2 co-authors, and we're going to talk about this in August. So be prepared. We have that. Then what comes after August? September. I know my months. Here we go. September, we have our favorite urban fiction author, A.A. Lewis, with The Last Letter. So if you were here with me in 2020, we did her book 1 of the 716 series. She has written another book that she has allowed us to sell for her. So we'll be talking about this in September. Wait, I'm not done. So then here comes, what's this, September? So then we have October. So if anyone has been a fan of Legacy Book Bar and has gone to our website, has gone to any of our pop-up shops, then you will know that one of our absolute nearest and dearest local authors, Indy Jones, is running the paranormal section with Legacy Book Bar, right? She loves me, even though I cyber stalked her, because her books are amazing and I had to have them because they were amazing. And the covers, the details that she puts into her covers is just absolutely phenomenal. So after I cyber stalked her, but in a very nice way, she has graciously allowed me to sell her books, and she has become a really, really great friend of Legacy Book Bar. We are doing book 2 of A Feline Nation, and we are doing Moth Deck Claws. So my authors know when they send me their books, I read their books. Why have a bookstore if you're not going to read the books, right? My authors know I will text you, I will email you, I will Facebook DM you, whatever is going on in your book. Indy Jones got text messages at like 11 o'clock at night because I am emotionally just like snot crying. Like, oh my gosh. So I know I said this was book 2. You can read this book as a standalone, but to better understand the character Moth Deck, I encourage everyone to get a Queen's Pride. Queen's Pride is book 1. This is book 2. So you can purchase these 2 books at Legacy Book Bar and then make sure that you are ready for our October book of the month. And for those that do love horror stories, do not think I forgot about you. We will, like we did last year, we will actually host 2 book of the months for October. And I am working on which author we will feature for our spooky books for the month. So never fear. I'm going to take care of all of the ones that love a good horror story. I'm just hoping that I do not have nightmares, because you guys know I'm a punk and horror movies will always scare me. But I have learned, thanks to Nicole Kurt, of Mocha Memoirs Press, that there are different versions of horror. You have the horror that scare you completely, and then the horrors that not so much. So we're going to let her be our guide into what horror story we should go with in October. And then hopefully, with her being a publisher as well as an author, she will grace us with her appearance at our October book club. So someone asked me earlier, what events are Legacy Book Bar hosting? So in the middle of, I've been in the business a year and a half. And then, of course, we hit launch on the bookstore February 2020. And then COVID hit March 2020. So the things I had planned, couldn't quite do them the same way I wanted to because of COVID. Well, now that COVID has slightly eased up, a lot of us have gotten vaccinated. So we're feeling a little bit safe of coming out. I have decided that our Legacy Book Bar Book Summit Volume 2 that we have every year for our anniversary, we are going to have a 2-day event, October 30th and October 31st, right here in Baltimore, Maryland. More news is coming, flyers are coming, but we're going to host a book fair, and we are going to host an author's brunch. So if you are an author and you're looking to possibly do a vendor table, just keep us in mind when that flyer comes out. If you are a fan of urban fiction, self-help, crime thrillers, children's books, romance, paranormal, horror, cookbooks, whatever your favorite genre is, keep us in mind, and you'll be able to see some of these same authors that we have interviewed for the last 6 months. You'll be able to see them at our Legacy Book Bar Book Fair in October. So I showed you all of the books of the Book of the Months that are coming up for the next few months. So I would like to kind of show you guys some of the new books that have arrived in the last month or so. So if you're looking for a good crime thriller, you're going to look at Beauty of the Edge. This is written by one of our local authors, Terrence Watkins. He is right here in Baltimore. So if you want to show a little Baltimore love, you're going to want to make sure that you get this book. I also want to show you guys on Who Made You, one of our children's books by Angelina Dawkins. This book is Who Made You. It embraces the opportunity to teach children about their identity as God's child through the colorful, exciting story of creation. So if this book is something that you and your little one would like, make sure you get this. Of course, our website is going across the bottom of the page, so you'll be able to purchase that. And I'm going to throw in a little shop code for you guys at the end of the night. We are going to give a quick shout out to Divine Legacy Publishing. Their two authors, we have this book, Leader Within. No, I'm sorry. This is Sometimes I Get the Wiggles by E. Mayan Bailey. And then we have Leader Within by Gabrielle Madison and Shamara Hutchins. So these two amazing authors are from our Divine Legacy family. So thank you so much for allowing us to have your book here. You guys are more than welcome to purchase this book through www.legacybookbar.com. For our boys, we have the LeBron James I Promise. This book is flying off the shelves. We have a few more in stock. So if you want to purchase this for your little one for a nice summer read, make sure you get this. And then, so I'm not going to take that out of the package, but you guys heard me talk about Indy Jones earlier. Well, she has an amazing male coloring book, Be Unbound, Black Men Angels coloring book. So a couple of months ago, you saw me on here and we showed you her female coloring book. So she has now 2 coloring books. Right now, through the end of the month, they are 2 for $20. So if you are looking to purchase any new adult coloring books, make sure that you go to the website. You can DM me for the sale code for the coloring books. We have some amazing authors We have some amazing publishers. We have amazing fans. So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for supporting Legacy Book Bar thus far. Some amazing things are happening. So make sure you stay tuned to our Sip and Chat Summer Series. I will not be here next Friday because it's my birthday. So I will not be here, but I will be back the following week with another episode of the Sip and Chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Miss Shirlena Barnett had to step away, but we want to say thank you so much to her, as well as her publisher, Miss Leslie Crawford. You guys have an amazing night. You guys stay safe. Still wear your mask. Still social distance. Wash your hands and keep your hand sanitizers out and about. You guys enjoy this nice weather. Cicadas are gone finally. If you're on the East Coast and you dealt with them like I did, we can breathe a little free because there's no cicadas anymore. We'll see them again in another 17 years. I'll see you guys in about 2 weeks for another episode of the Sip and Chat. You guys have a great night and stay safe. Bye, everybody.